Thank you.
because I set my alarm for 7:30 p.m.
Oh, I've done that. Kind of a shock, isn't it?
Yep.
Where are you traveling this time?
Turkey.
Turkey? Wow, great.
Uh, well, we like the Mediterranean area,
Hmm.
generally speaking. Um, and my wife has always wanted to go to Istanbul. I've been, but you know, it
Mm.
could stand a second visit.
I'm sure. That's interesting. A couple who were students many years ago moved to Turkey.
Ah,
I don't know. They found a place they were very happy with, and it apparently was very reasonable to live there.
yeah, I think so. The
Um,
people are very nice. They're friendly.
yep.
It's a Muslim country, but not. Um, it's not a religious,
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
So
Well, I hope you have a good time.
yeah, thank you. Sure, we will.
Yeah.
So
We have our one of our boys here visiting.
I'm sorry.
I said we have one of our boys here visiting,
Ah,
um, so that's fun.
yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Well, we're trying to do. I mean, not overload ourselves, but if we can, we're going to take the opportunity while we can. So,
Yeah, yeah. Be interested in how people are looking at Americans now.
yeah. Well, we pretty much know.
Yeah.
And I think, judging from previous travels where America was not well liked,
Mm.
people don't blame the common
Mm.
American.
That's good.
It's the government that they have no use for from time to time.
That's like exactly how I feel about China.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
Chinese
Exactly.
people were
Uh,
delightful.
Wonderful, and
Yeah.
people who don't travel look at me cross-eyed when I say things like that. I think the
Mhm.
Burmese were the nicest, loveliest people I've ever met.
Mm.
And next were the Mongolians, and then the Chinese. That whole
Yeah.
very pleasant, welcoming.
Yep. Let's see what. Oh, 10 o'clock on the dot. If he can get in. Here he comes. Oh, Moki's coming to say hello. Mr. Pushy.
Yeah.
He's very friendly. He's
What
also
was that?
he also has insisted on going outside.
Oh,
So he's a part-time outside cat now, which we didn't really want.
I'm sorry.
We didn't really want that.
No,
but-
because it involves ticks and
Yeah.
sprays and the chance that he just disappears.
Yeah. Well, we've lost several to coyotes, so we're. Morning, Jeff.
Hi, Good morning,
Morning.
How,
Bill.
how are you this morning?
Good. You?
Oh,
What are you
good.
guys doing?
Yeah, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm, I'm reasonably good.
Yeah, I'm in that category.
I had one of those nights when I didn't sleep as well as I would
Yeah.
like to have, but
Hmm.
it comes and goes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How's your breathing coming?
Ah, in and out.
Yeah, good. That's a start.
Yeah. I'm working on it, but I was hoping to watch last week again. It's is it lost forever, or
Well,
what's happening with that? Because it's still
with
last week's video is still not there.
you
It's a
didn't get
duplicate of
that?
2 weeks ago.
You didn't get
No, it's a
that?
duplicate.
Yeah.
No, I just I went to your page again just a little while ago to see if it was there, and I don't see it, David. I see a duplicate of 2 weeks ago. There's two of those up there, but I'm not seeing last week at all
Wow. Um,
because it did have a lot of good stuff. It had our discussion about breathing, and it had when I was doing the flow and I was breathing, longevity breathing, and
yep.
focusing on that, and you commented that it was at least the
Uh,
first part of the form, you noticed a difference, and I wanted to see that.
well,
Maybe you could
unless
look later.
I,
Yeah,
I will look again.
I got all your emails and I got the links, but every link is the same video as 2 weeks ago, and you could tell because Bill is there.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right.
so I knew right away that it was not the right video.
Well, I will look again, Jeff.
Okay.
I don't know. Period.
All right. Well, see what you can come up with. Only because there was a lot of good parts there that I would like to watch again. That's
Yeah,
I thought it was a particularly good and helpful class. So
yeah.
whatever you can do, if you can find it, that'd be great. If not, it's understandable. That happens.
I will try.
Okay. But I'm been working on the things we talked about as much as I have the time to do, and I it's new. Some of it's new territory for me, and that's like breaking new ground. And I like the prospects of how it makes me feel when I do it. So I do want to keep working on it. But I, I guess the bottom line is I've made a little progress.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did get them. I opened it up far enough to see that it was you, Jeff, talking with you. And I figured, okay, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I figured, okay, I'll
Ah,
get it.
Ha!
I don't. That's really weird that you because we
That's
got the
really
same.
weird.
Yeah. Boy, I don't know. I will check after class. I will double check again the couple of the few emails you sent, or maybe there's one that I didn't get that it was actually on. I don't know. But
Well,
I did.
I uploaded it to YouTube again before I sent you that second link.
Right, and after I got the emails from you, I just disregarded when the links were sending me to the prior weeks. I just went straight to your page on YouTube and I looked at all the videos
Yeah.
because it should just be there. and I don't see it
Do
there. And I
you
did
remember the
refresh it
date,
3 times.
Jeff? Do you remember
Well,
the
it was
date
last week.
last week?
Well, I don't even know today's date, Bill. What's today's date? Today's the 20th, so it would have been the 13th,
Yeah.
I guess.
Maybe I
Yeah.
can send it. Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah, yeah. If you can, send me a link or email, however you guys can send it. But if you find the link, send it directly because that would be appreciative.
okay.
All right.
So in making a little progress, what questions came up?
Um, I don't know about any other questions that are different. Just it's as I think we talked about a little bit last time, maintaining this. I was pretty good at maintaining the pace, but I was not throughout the whole form able to keep the breath going. I kept falling back into my hesitancy. After my exhale, I would have like a second hesitancy because that's just what I've been doing for decades. And so I'm trying to break that and keep
Yeah.
it flowing more smoothly. But just keep noticing that in myself and working on that is the main thing right now. And also in the, you know, longevity breathing and trying to progress with that. I'm still on the lowest stage, trying to feel comfortable with that and feel that more fully before
Right.
I want to try and come on and bring it up higher.
Okay.
No particular questions. Somewhat the same as what Jeff was saying. It's a matter of attending throughout. And I seem to be in a phase where I feel various aspects of whatever I'm working on, whether it's woo or gods or this, the eight gates, coming together and making sense to my
Uh-huh.
to my
Yeah.
body, but it's not consistent. So I think that's where my attention goes, trying to keep everything.
Mm.
It helps if I think calm and think rounded. And I can't apparently do that all the time at a sufficiently high level to really let me get through anything feeling completely confident or
Yeah.
satisfied. So, but I feel like things are coming together at various places.
Okay. So progress.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Good. It may only take a couple of lifetimes.
Yeah, well, I have 4 lined up. Yeah.
So it is simply a matter of practice,
Yeah.
and and focusing. I repeat again, not just always flowing when you practice,
Mm.
but recognizing the areas where you have difficulty and repeating those,
Yeah.
rather
I
than
usually stop right then and there.
Mhm.
And do the repetition and then go on.
That's good. Yeah.
I mean, if I know that and there are places in the form that we'll talk about later.
Okay. Well, okay. So I don't. It sounds to me like I should not add anything today. Is what I'm feeling. So let's do the 8 gates, and instead of pulsing, do the holding. So as you come to each
Uh,
position, you're not going to do the pulsing movement, but simply hold and focus on the breath, and
Okay.
using the breath to move the energy.
okay, and so no physical movement at all once we get to the
To each
to
position.
posture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is another way to focus.
Yeah.
Um, so both you're thinking both of simply gathering more energy, but also focusing into those 8 points in the body.
Okay.
So I'll remind you of those as we go through, since I don't know whether you remember them all.
Not all of them. Nope.
No?
All right.
So stepping out, just taking that moment to allow yourself to settle. Feel your connection to the earth, to the heavens. Feel both Bai Hui and Yongchuan opening. Be aware of the sphere of energy around your body. Front, sides, back, below the feet and above the head. Allow the breath to slow and smooth. And then flow into the 8 gates, going first to Qian, heaven, and focusing on the upper Dantian. Down to Kun, earth. Breathing into that lower Dantian. And down to Kan, water. Breathing into the kidneys. Expand that mid-back as you breathe. Expand it and contract it. Coming up to Lee, heart. Down, reading into the liver. We endeavor to feel the organ expand and contract. Up to Jön Thunder, breathing into the lungs. Remember that you don't want the chest to move. That expansion is in the upper back. And down, earth, breathing into the spleen. Then into the middle dantian, and perhaps Sheen, the heart-mind. And closing So. That raise any questions or have any comments?
On Jen, why are we breathing into the upper back rather than the chest? Why is there no movement in the chest?
Because in Taoist breathing, there is no movement in the chest at any time, ever.
Okay.
And so part of longevity breathing is learning to breathe into the upper back so that the back expands and contracts as you breathe, which massages the lungs and the heart.
Okay.
And so, unlike some other forms of breathing and the way probably most Westerners breathe, we don't expand the chest when we inhale. We want to expand the back. I'm sorry that I somehow had not communicated that clearly to you a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe you did a long time ago and I just forgot it because I haven't been doing that kind of breathing for a long time. So maybe I forgot it. But so essentially it's because when we do the Taoist breathing and we expand the back, that is what allows us to massage the lungs and the heart, whereas expanding the chest would not allow us to do that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I will remember that now.
Okay. Anything for you? How did that feel?
That felt good, and I was at some point in each of the postures able to focus and yet feel the rest of my body, the energy,
Mm-hmm.
somewhat, yeah.
Good.
So it's a matter of focusing, but not to the exclusion.
Right. Being aware of the entirety as well as the individual.
Yeah. And I think what I was saying before, that's, sort of what seems to be happening in fits and starts a little bit more these days.
Yeah.
Awareness of the whole of it.
Good. How did that feel to you, Jeff? Was that?
A little disappointing because I did not experience the same level and the same intensity of energy movement, not even really close as I do when I have movement in the 8 gates.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly I need to work on this more. But there was a noticeable decrease in my overall energy movement and in my generation of heat and my feeling of just almost everything, really doing it that way versus still doing it with movement.
Yeah.
So that gives me an idea that certainly needs more working on.
Yeah, and so as with a lot of the things we do, there is more than one way to do it, and so playing with this for a while, so that when you start your practice and you're going to do your standing, you begin to tune in to what does your body say you ought to do that day.
Right.
Because it's not going to be the same every day. Some days,
True.
this felt really good to me today too.
Right.
And sometimes I very much prefer pulsing the energy.
Yeah.
So staying aware.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it will be good for the reasons you just said. It will be good for me to be more familiar and get more used to doing it this way, so that I do have both options on any given day, whenever or at any given time, and I want to try this in my practice.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
yeah.
So, am I hearing that you have questions in the form?
I've decided that I just don't get, in some way or another, two things in particular. Gargoyles the most. I do it differently every time, and I'm still,
Okay.
trying to figure out what's going on. Much of the rest of the form I understand. I understand what I'm supposed to be doing. I understand how it fits together in a flow. Gargoyles, I don't. In shoulder, that area around shoulder has always been a stumbling point for me, and it continues, So.
Okay, so let's look at those two places. So maybe we'll start with shoulder, since it's earlier in the.
I don't know whether Jeff has,
Oh, I have to let him do this too?
No, those. Well, I had my turn last week, Bill, so this could be all you. But I also find gargoyles consistently awkward, because it's moving backwards and rotating around, and then it's the integration of the arms and stepping backwards, and I'm just always inconsistent with that step, which kind of makes me off balance half the time when I'm trying to do that. So that would be very good to work on, and to see the footwork again.
That's usually one of the places where I stop, because I've gotten off balance and I have to stop.
Embrace. So at this point, you're weighted 60% on the left foot, and you're going to twist and bend in onto the left foot, so that you draw the right foot in. And what you're doing here, just so you understand, this is a protect the groin movement, is what it really would be if you think of its martial application. In the form, we don't lift the knee that high. But that's what you're thinking, is that you're protecting, and then you're stepping into that movement that has come towards you and striking, because you've got them right there where you can really give it to them. So you're coming back into the left foot and pulling that foot in, and then you're going to turn right, and you're still twisting in at this point. And then you rotate left, shifting forward and expanding your arms out. Okay? So they're going like this. Up, yeah, that's right. Okay. Notice that this hand is down, palm forward. This one has gone up about chest height, palm forward. So they're both pushing in the same direction. Okay. Now,
one question before we go beyond that. When we are initially exiting embrace and beginning to move into shoulder, or drawing in from embrace, is it a shift back first, or is it a shift and a rotation to the left combined?
it's really combined. I think at one point I said that the opposite of that, but it is both coming in, and everything has twisted in at that point, and then step, and now everything twists out. And clearly the posture is indicating the possibility of a push with the hands, but it may be the body. The energy here is cow, which is often translated as shoulder, but actually it literally means bump.
Yeah.
So you may be bumping with a hip, a shoulder, your hands, your elbows, whatever.
Right.
It's not,
Out of here.
yeah, get out of here. So,
Right.
um,
Okay.
so after you've done embrace, you rotate and shift into the left foot. Good, David. Turn and step onto the right, empty step. And then rotate and shift forward. Now you're turning left again. So you have turning left, turning right, turning left. Yep. Question?
Also, David, after Embrace, at the end of Embrace, did you say we're about 60% on the rear foot?
Yes.
Okay. I thought that's what you said. I'm just trying to make sure because we still need more of that shift back to draw everything in.
Well, you're striking forward in embrace. You're not pulling in.
No, I'm saying, but after Embrace, as we start, we still need some leeway to shift back to begin drawing in.
Oh,
the
yeah.
block.
You've got to get back to 100% so that you can bring that leg or knee in to protect yourself, and
Right.
then step and go into the posture. And
Right. Okay.
one of the key things here is that this is one posture where you do not go all the way into into your bow stance. You have to stay slightly back because White Crane needs a shift forward. It's extremely subtle, but it's got to be there. So you have not only a rotation, but a shifting forward there. And it's not, as I said, it's not much. You're stopping as you go into shoulder. That bow stance is just short, half an inch or an inch at the most, short of
Right.
your full bow stance, so that you still have some forward movement as you rotate into White Goose.
Right. Okay.
Nothing to it. So, oh, there's a question?
I do have.
No, that's fine. No, good.
From what I'm realizing is that my feet are as big a problem as anything
Mm-hmm.
in this passage. And the first problem point is with pull down.
So there's no foot movement.
There's no foot movement at all.
So you've done single whip.
Yep.
Get back where Jeff can see my
Yeah.
feet. You've done single whip. There's a shift, a rotate and touch,
Yep.
step back, rotate and shift back, pulling down. No foot movement during that part,
Okay.
during the expansion out.
Yep.
Then you pick up that left toe and turn, twisting in, and the weight basically stays the same, and then you shift back, expanding out. And don't over expand. It's not out here. 70% rule. Okay? And then you're going to rotate into the left foot and go on. Yeah.
Before we go on, David, a question related to that. When you do after the pull down, when we draw in and then expand out into embrace, what kind of martial application is that?
It's it's an unexpected movement that pretty much only appears in Tai Chi, which is
Okay.
a push away with a backward shift.
Away with
That's embrace, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you're actually doing there, it is probably on. It could be G, but
Okay.
it is definitely an outward force as you go back.
Right. I'm also asking that part, but also immediately before that, like after we, when we pull down, but then it feels like we draw in briefly like this and then push back out,
Okay, so we have pull down,
draw in a little bit.
and then you're rotating
Yeah.
and bringing your energy in. And what you're trying to do, if you think of a martial application, is you've tried to do a pull down. You were maybe partially effective, and
Right.
the guy is beginning to recover. So you're
Yeah.
taking him a little further off balance so you can really push.
And that bit there where you're taking him more off balance, would that be like a Lu because we're turning as well? Would that be like or what would you call that?
Um,
That's the part that I'm not getting very clearly.
um,
Tricky one.
it is. I hadn't really thought about that. Um, so this obviously is on, and
Yeah.
this could very well be Lou. Yeah. Yep. I can. That makes sense.
Okay. Especially if it's with the goal of, like you said, trying to get him more off balance again and then bumping him or pushing him away.
Yeah, because remember that it really is best not to think of Lou as a ward off. I mean, a rollback, but think
Hmm.
of it as absorb.
Uh, yep, good point.
So you've done this. Um, done your pull down, your turn.
Right.
You've done your embrace. Um, that's really here. You're pulling him into you.
Yeah.
You're pulling that energy in so you can send it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing there with the arm movement, remember, is that you're not actually, you might actually do it this way if you were actually fighting, but the
Right.
posture
Right.
is just the little finger edge rotating out as you shift back.
Right.
You're
Okay.
not going all the way to here.
Right.
Again,
Right.
a lot of lot of things are indications of what the application might be.
Right, and really, I sometimes look at it as almost like if you imagine like an invisible little arrow of which way the energy is going.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I assign Marshall
Okay.
applications in my
Yeah,
head sometimes.
that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Further question there?
No, lots of work.
Okay, so what I want you to do is start at single whip and go through to follow and focus in the corner and do it 5 times.
I just realized something.
What?
I'm going like that.
It's,
But I'm leaning.
oh yeah, yes you are. Don't lean.
Yeah.
Really good awareness.
Wait, oh, okay. Here we are.
So when you shift your dantian, not your chest, out onto the right foot. You got you really want to shift the way. When you do single whip, you're not 100% on the left foot. So you have a shift first. Then, but you gotta move the leg is also coming around. Yes, good.
Is that too big a step?
No. But remember when you go we may spend all day on this. when you go from here, which is really a bending and coming in, you have not gone out yet in this posture. When you step back, you're still coming in, and now you're going out. See, I'm seeing your arms freezing. You get to here, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
so you get to here, and that shift causes the arms to fold a little. Boom. And then this moves them, and this moves them, and this moves them. So you're trying to skip the rotation of the leg. You have to shift onto the left foot first, get the right one empty. Yes, yes, good, good.
I don't understand how, over time, things like that is happening. I mean, the arm and the leg are in tandem,
Yes, they are.
and I had them separated
Yep.
somehow.
You know,
Anyway, that's
again,
unanswerable.
no, it isn't, because really what it is practice, enough practice when you're learning something and repeating
so
it,
as not to-
refining it,
Yeah,
that you get that into your body so that it can't go away.
yeah.
You can lose it for a while, but it doesn't go away.
I'm gonna have to guess they work on that. Okay, and I was pushing this way, and it's more just moving the finger edge out.
Yeah, everything expanding. If you look at me for a moment here,
Yeah.
Everything actually from my spine out to my fingertips is expanding. Everything is going out. Yeah. Where was the expansion of the arms?
Yeah.
You're way too far forward at the end of shoulder. You had no place to go with a safe forward movement in White Goose. Better.
What's the weight distribution? Right before I go into the bump.
It's it's like 65-35.
65.
Yeah.
And I'm probably close to opposite.
So you end up when I say that. So when you get to this point, this is 100 Here, David, come on. But as you go here, it now becomes 65-35. That's not what I mean. 55-45. So that you have from 55 to 60 as you go into White Goose.
Okay.
Yeah, putting percentage on it is.
Well, yeah, but I was just, I realized that.
So you're right. You're at this point. You're 100% back, and now you're not 60% forward, which would be the normal bow stance forward weight. You want to be like 50 or 55% forward. So now you have somewhere to go forward as you do.
Yeah. My turn is pulling me. Rather than a rotation, it's
Yeah.
a yank.
So, and you want this. Remember that this has to come in, twist in, so you can go out, out, out. It's actually down, but yeah. Don't just use the arms. Since we're being in detail here.
Yeah.
But I'll leave you alone now and let
Okay.
you practice. I'll go see if I can beat up Jeff.
Okay. Hopefully you'll be able to see it.
Well, I'll look at the best I can. So Jeff, when you do your step back, that twisting movement is really pulling the energy in there. It's again that absorbing of the energy.
Right.
So it it has to. It you don't want to overdo it, but it needs to be present, and it's coming from the spine. Remember, it's not coming from the hands.
Mm. Okay.
So it that's what we're trying to find is how do we connect everything together here.
Right.
So um, let me stop you again.
Yep.
So can you see me in that little picture?
Right now I can. Yeah. That's good. It's about as good as I can see you.
Okay. So you've gone back here. You've expanded out.
Yeah.
Notice what I'm seeing with you is your elbows going up,
Okay.
and if you notice, actually my elbows are going down and in, so that they can go out and expand.
Oh, okay.
Too far forward, Jeff. That really, did you hear our discussion a minute ago about the weight change there?
I did, and I had it in mind while I was doing this, and I still went too far forward.
Yeah. Yeah, that you've had a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
So when you're doing white goose and follow and focus,
Yeah.
it just seemed a little muddy to me. Let me
So I'll do it again.
well, hold on just a second. Let me just show you what I'm saying here. Um,
Okay.
so um, this is expanded out,
Yeah.
and now it's coming in, twisting and bending in, and around here it begins to go out, and you have a deflection with the right hand, a strike with the left, and then you actually have another on with both hands,
Right.
and then you have in, well, actually it's a very fast out, in, out.
Mm.
So
Right.
follow is Lu. So it is you have that outward movement first. That's the yang. This that Lu reverses and does yang yin instead of yin yang, which we often do in the postures.
Hmm.
So um, you've had the yang going out here. You have to make sure it hasn't gone too far. That's part of the training here, is that you have to keep white goose somewhat subtle, because after you have completed it out, 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 you have to go out further and then in, absorb, draw in, and push downward.
Right.
Is that clear?
Yeah. No, I get that.
Okay.
It's just a matter of making it less muddied in
Yes.
that small frame of action.
That's what this form is about. So try it again. Uh-huh. Okay, that looks better.
Follow focus. I didn't. I know I didn't. When I started following focus, I didn't expand a little bit first.
Yep, yep. That's better though.
Okay.
So when you do cow shoulder, complete the posture before you go on to the next one.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean by that?
I know exactly what you're pointing at, because that's where
We're rushing.
I
Yeah.
okay. I was rushing because I was trying to avoid segmenting the
Mm.
thing, which is what I've been doing. I mean, I realized, okay, I got to here, and my arms weren't,
Where you wanted them to be.
well, they weren't going anywhere. They were just waiting for the posture to be finished, and then the next segment. So I was trying to
Yeah.
move it along, and I guess I moved too fast. Which is not unusual for me.
Yeah. So that's part of what you're really trying to work on here, is making sure that you keep all the parts, that you don't rush through. Good. You have other questions right there, Jeff?
No, that's a very good detailed breakdown of it all. So a lot to work on.
Oop, what did I do to you? Oh, there you are. Okay, let me pin myself here for a minute. Oops, that's not what I wanted.
I still see you, if that matters.
You do?
Yeah. Your picture hasn't changed.
Sometimes I hate Zoom.
Yeah, understandable.
So there's okay. Now I go back to him. Ha! It just here we go. Oh, it's
Did you lose me?
um, no. I have only you. I can't get rid of you. But I'm working on it. Let me just give me a minute here. No, I can't get rid of you. I do not understand this. I'm in the right view. Oh no, I'm not now. Oh, here. Let's see now. Okay. Ah! This is too complicated for us simple-minded folks.
Can you hear me now, David?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I think you muted me a moment ago, and I just unmuted it. So,
Oh, good. Yeah, I might have. I was doing something else, but
all right, well, hopefully the video is not affected because my ability to see you didn't change at all. So
oh,
hopefully
good.
that's still there.
Okay. It's 11:05. Well, we've got a little bit of time for gargoyles. So, when we have gone into offering incense, the first thing is to shift back into the rear foot and sit on that foot, which releases the connection of the hands, but they don't rotate, they just separate. And then you rotate left to step back, preparing for your bow stance. And that begins the twisting in, and you go back onto that left foot, and then you rotate forward, and the hands expand out, the arms expand out as you rotate right. So the one of the things is that when you step back for I need the other camera. Excuse me. I just realized that
Yeah.
you're not getting the best view of
Well, I'm
what
not seeing your feet in
I
that
know. That's
in
that's
this
what I just
version.
that's what I just
Yeah.
realized.
Oh, there
Sorry.
you go.
Yeah. The other thing threw me off. So the problem when we go into offering incense is that often we put that right foot back with the toe turned out too much. Because if you do that, then when you shift back, you probably can't rotate to the left to move the foot.
Hmm.
So when you make that kick and step back, the leg is sweeping back to the right, but the whole leg is twisting inward. So that as it goes back, you go into a narrow stance there for gargoyles. I mean for incense. And then you shift back into the right foot, and you're going to do kind of an S-curve rotation. You're going to turn right and then left, and you're shifting back all the way through that, because part of this is that you're also prepared at this point to kick. So you go to 100%, and so what you've done here is you pulled this person in so you can kick them.
So with that rotation of the arms as we're shifting back and pulling them in, that's like an arm lock, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there are a number of things it could be. You may only have
Okay.
one arm, you may have both.
Okay.
But the thing you have to find is how do I rotate left and then right? And when you rotate right, you have to release that right toe to turn forward. And you're ideally 100% back on the left foot. And then when you go to the other one, you're simply going to reverse that. You rotate right, twisting in, and left, releasing the left toe and expanding out. So it's a continual rotation and shift. So you're in incense, you shift back, you rotate left, right, continue right, and left. Question? Do you understand?
Yes, but I've probably never done it right.
Correctly? So the real trick here is that you have to keep the rotation going.
Yeah.
That's really the movement. Left, right, left, and that's both postures. You've done both postures. So from here, you shift back and you sit on that right foot. So you can rotate left, right, keep going right, and left. Don't let the hands cross the center line of the body.
Yeah.
Just to give you something else to think about. You need to take a break? Let me get out of here. Do you have a question here, Jeff?
No, but I did realize when you just said that my hands are crossing the center line pretty badly on that. So you got to be
Yeah.
aware of that.
Yep.
I never thought about it in that posture, to be honest with you. So I got to be aware of that now.
Yeah, that's that and subdue tiger are both ones where we tend to
Yep.
throw our hands across the center, and that's not what we want to do. We want to come to center. Boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which basically just means don't make it such a huge motion. Make it
Ah, right.
more.
This is the woo style.
Yep. Which sometimes it's easy to forget when you're doing the big body motions and all that. So that's
Yeah.
there's a needed reminder to keep that in mind for that, and as you say, for the subdued tiger.
Yep.
Okay.
So Any other questions at the moment?
No, just if either of you guys find the last week's link up there, send it to me and I'll try it again.
Okay.
I would like to
I'll
see it. There was some things that struck a chord with me that I'd like to see again
I'll
and make
take
note
it.
of.
I'll take another look.
All right.
Um, so Bill is going to be on vacation the next 2 weeks in Turkey.
Okay. Wow.
So, wow, indeed. So,
I may not be here in 2 weeks. I haven't. I'm trying to make like a little overnight for 1 or 2 nights for Kate and Jesse and I before they leave for Australia.
oh,
I'm looking at staying at Clearwater Beach, about an hour and a half from here.
hmm
And the only nights that I could stay there would be that we could stay there based on my work and everything would be Sunday and Monday nights, which means I wouldn't be back Tuesday morning in time. But not next week, it would be the following week. But
okay.
I
Well,
will let you know for sure.
let me know next week.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, good.
Right, and I sent you a Venmo, also I sent you a Venmo about an hour ago,
Yeah,
before
no, I
class,
got it.
about an hour.
I got it.
Okay, good,
Thank you.
perfect, thanks.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have
All
a
right, thank
great
you.
trip.
I will.
Stay
Yeah, that's
safe.
great, Bill.
Travel safely,
Yep.
and we'll.
Great.
Jeff, have a good couple of weeks.
You too. Safe travels.
Thank
All
you.
right, David. I'll see you next week.
Okay, Jeff. Have a good week.
You too. Take care.
Okay. Bye bye.